Good afternoon, everyone. I just left court, the Maricopa County court area, whatever you want to call it. Oh, look at that, a bunch of boats. It's not something you see in downtown Phoenix too much, I don't think. So anyway, just left court. Went into my hearing and requested that they drop the plea deal. Well, I requested that a month and a half ago, and we basically just went through the process today. I hadn't talked to my attorney to sit down and work out any kind of, I don't want to say game plan, but just give the information and be able to present that properly. There was a bunch of stuff that was left out. It's interesting process. So I'm not going to worry about what they can possibly do. I know what's right, what's wrong. No matter what happens, I'm still proud of myself for doing what I'm doing and going this far. And that's really all that matters. Even if nobody is actually listening to this right now, if like the people are trying to tell me I don't exist, and it's very possible that I don't exist in the real world if all of my social media and my YouTube channel has been censored for, actually could have been censored for way longer than I've even realized. Yeah, I might be a ghost. It's tough to say. There's with enough power and money and control, people can do pretty much anything they want and literally hide a person from society other than who they meet in person every day. But whatever. So we requested that the plea deal was dropped. The prosecuting attorney, it's amazing how they function, how attorneys function. I never really have seen this process, and it's amazing how they can just sit there and try to create a narrative. I never understood what creating a narrative was until I started looking into the a lot of the political arena stuff, how narratives are created to just get somebody else to believe a story, or to put a picture in their head of what an individual is like, how they act, who they are, things like that. And it was kind of interesting how the prosecuting attorney tried to make it look like it was my fault that I haven't received the exculpatory evidence, and then actually tried to tell the judge that the video footage that I have, that I had never tried to submit this to the court. When I don't know, you guys have seen my videos. How I've been, from the time that I got the motion discovery, when Mr. Heineman sent me a message, said, "Hey, well, have you got your motion discovery?" I said, "What's that?" And then I researched what a motion discovery is, and I find out any defense attorney would sit down with their client, go over a motion discovery, and come up with their strategy for the case. I was never even told what that was. Then when I demanded that I be given the motion discovery, the police discovery. I'm sorry, the police discovery. I was never given the police discovery. So I demanded that he give me the police discovery. I got some video, but not the video that I needed. Like I said over and over, there was 11 officers in the police discovery that responded to this call. All of those officers well, I shouldn't say all of them. Some of those officers had body cameras, and there's proof that they had body cameras because they have body camera footage of them searching my mailboxes. So the prosecuting attorney tried to tell the judge that not all these police officers wear body cameras, and that there's no camera footage available. So if there is no camera footage available from these officers responding to this incident, but they've proved that they do have body cameras because they offered the body camera footage from searching my mailboxes for some reason. Because that's where I parked when I was getting ready to run from Russell Roberts after he had followed me to my home after pulling a gun out of his window. And they also said that I didn't have a video, of this. You guys have seen it on YouTube. And they also said that all of a sudden I wanted to present this evidence, and but like it wasn't a big deal to me. And I've battled and battled and battled to get Mark J. Victor to file a motion to compel to get that exculpatory evidence. And I remember being told, well, what is it going to do for you anyway? What's this video going to prove? What, are you serious? What's evidence going to prove? What's evidence going to prove? Well, let's see. Let's get those body camera videos, and let's have some justice. Let's see what's going on. There's a reason why people don't want people filming. And this is one of those reasons. So thank God I filmed when I did, to at least get my own evidence, which I gave to my attorney again immediately. Showed him the screenshot, high definition screenshot video. Said right here, you can see him pulling the gun out of the window. Right here, look, it's perfectly visible. And so that's what I provided in my motion to the judge. And I don't know. We'll see what happens. They'll let me know in 2 weeks if we live in a tyrannical state, country, or if we live in a country that actually abides by the rule of law. I don't mean like the rule of law, like ruling us with the law, but letting the court system work properly. Wow, that's a big dust storm back there. I don't know if you can see that. And I could go down. I almost feel bad for this attorney. He seems like a good guy, but he's probably watched some of my videos, and he probably understands how this whole thing works. I would imagine he's a Freemason. I don't know, just a guess. I don't know enough about any of that. I never signed up, went to the lodge, checked it out. They asked me if I was for the death penalty, and I was like, not really. A lot of people get set up. I'd hate to see somebody get murdered by the state after they pulled the making a murderer move on him, making a violent gun offender, whatever their goal is, to create their narrative, for the people that speak out about whatever it is they're speaking out about, whether they got molested when they were a kid or they saw something wrong, say they work for the NSA and they're like, hey, hold on, why is this happening, or why didn't you use my program ThinThread? And they're like, we're going to target you, Bill, because we're going to make billions, trillions more with this other program for General Hayden. So that's, anyway, the guy that's representing me, can you believe that? I feel bad for my attorney because he's stuck in this conundrum too. he'd probably want to represent me, but he really probably knows what would happen to him. Uh, and anybody that's seen what happens to somebody going through this program, yeah, I could get how they'd be afraid, and they wouldn't be able to conjure up the courage to just go ahead and go for it and go all in for somebody they've never met before. So whatever. Sometimes you're just on your own. That's how life goes sometimes. You know, no one's coming to save you. No one's coming to help. You just have to figure out. Yeah, I was never in the Marine Corps, but they have one of my favorite sayings of all time, and it's adapt and overcome. It's one of the most important things you'd ever train yourself to do in life. To adapt to your environment and overcome whatever situation is presented to you in life. And for every action, there's a reaction. So all of the things that I've spoken about in my life, you know, I've talked about 9/11, I've talked about pretty much every issue that would get government and or merged corporations to retaliate against me. You know, I can go ahead and say I'm exaggerating a little bit, but I've probably caused millions, if not more, worth of damage to some corporations and some government entities that were doing the wrong thing with nothing. Selling stuff on eBay, just a nobody really. And so what I've done with the resources that I've had, I'm damn proud of myself. I don't care how weird that sounds. Hey, we get this car pulling out in front of me. Right. Yeah, that's it. And like we're talking about that right now. So the prosecuting attorney was wearing a red shirt today. Imagine that. Just like this dude right here. There's big red truck pulling up next to me. You know who else I see? Actually, I'll just finish talking about this thing. So in 2 weeks, I'll go back. If I don't get picked off by then, I'll go back and they'll let me know whether I'm getting sentenced or whether they're going to allow me to go to trial. And I'll go to trial. I'll just have to be prepared to defend myself and be able to guide my attorney through the case. And I'm not saying that to try to be arrogant, like I know his job or anything like that, but he might not be able to just go ahead and defend me in the way that he would defend somebody that wouldn't get him targeted. So I'm going to go ahead and understand his position right now and just have to know that I have to be prepared when I go in to ask the right questions, to present my evidence properly, and carry through with this. That is if they don't just go ahead and sentence me. I didn't realize they could just go ahead and do that. But hey, everything's a learning process, right? Thing in life is a learning process. Sometimes when you learn something, you're not just paying money to an institution to teach them. You're not paying a mentor or a music coach or to help somebody else. You know, when I went through all the custody stuff with my kids, I got to be kind of an expert in child custody court and learning how custody orders operate, how the state operates with relationships and stuff like that. And then I had a few friends that were going through some custody stuff with their kids, or they were going to have a baby and they weren't married. And I knew immediately to let them know, hey, look, if you're having a baby, you're not married, even if you're in a good relationship, you need to go down and you need to get a custody order in place. And that's going to do two things for you. That's going to secure your right to see your child, because if the other parent decides, hey, I'm going to move to a different state, or I'm going to take the child from you, not let you see them anymore. If you don't have a custody order in place, you all of a sudden need an attorney. You need to go down and file for custody orders. Sometimes you have to get an ex parte to hurry that along. Sometimes, yeah, you just get in a really bad situation. So that's the first thing that getting a custody order would help with. And two, it will help you identify how good your relationship is if you explain to the other person, hey, look, this is going to be uncomfortable for us to go through this process because it kind of says we don't trust each other. But at the same time, it's going to kind of prove that you do trust each other and you have good communication skills, because any couple that can sit down with a child and they care enough about the child to go ahead and take that hit on their ego and get a custody order filled out just in case somebody has a bad day and wants to take off, whatever, they can't kidnap that child. And I've explained this to, I've lost track how many friends that I've had that are just gonna have kids, and I'd let them know, hey, you gotta go do this, and a few of them actually did thank me later on in life. So all the money that I spent, I mean, not to mention that I ended up getting full custody of both of my children. Back in the day. My son's an adult now, which, Derek, I miss you if you're out there anywhere, man, watching this. You know my phone number. I miss you, dude. I forgive you for well, I'd like an apology, buddy, but anyway, all that stuff that I went through for my kids when I was younger, I would guess I spent $50,000 to $60,000 through that whole process. Lost so much time, but it ended up being worth it. And I'm hoping this is the same situation. It could cost me time in prison, away from my family, away from society. I could get murdered in prison. Actually, it would be very highly likely that I would get murdered in prison, seeing all the people that I've pissed off with my journalism and my facts, reality that people don't seem to like. So, but whatever. Stuff happens in life. And I don't know, who wants to go out as a sellout? Not me. I guess that's just the cowboy in me, right? Like that Tim McGraw song. Don't know why I act the way I do. Yeah, so in a couple of weeks I'll find out if I'm going to be a felon or if I'm going to be able to defend myself in court, try to demand the exculpatory evidence that hasn't been given to me. And the attorney says, these officers don't have body camera footage, but they filmed the... It's almost comical. And if you don't freak out with their street theater skits you're talking about, Shawshank Redemption is one of my favorite movies. Actually, it's been my favorite movie since, I think, the first time I saw it when I was a kid. I can't think of another movie like that one and The Matrix are, I'd say, my two favorite movies. There's a lot of other good ones, but yeah, God, I just lost my train of thought. Alright. Hey, it looks like I'm going to stop in traffic here. Maybe I can read a couple of these. God, my lips are so dry. What in the hell? It's dry here in Phoenix. It's 104 today. Nice day. Oh, but yeah, that's where I was going with that. Uh, the Shawshank Redemption. The warden goes out to the young guy, the rockabilly dude. He looks like Elvis, sings, and he's all proud that he's like steals stereos or stereos. Was it stereos back then? Like car stereos you could steal. He just steal like, I think he said something about B&E, blah blah blah, whatever. And the warden knows that Andy Dufresne innocent, and he knows that guy, that rockabilly guy, can basically give evidence, give testimony in a court to prove that Andy Dufresne is innocent. And along the road, Andy's asking for the warden to revisit this, let him go back to trial. He says, "You're being obtuse." He tells the warden, "Sir, I don't understand. You're being obtuse. And because you don't talk to me like that, I'll cast you down with the sodomites." So, long story short, there was a little skit about that going down to the basement. I won't go through the whole thing, but yeah, basically I got told, "Hey, you're gonna go against us, you're gonna get cast down with the sodomites. They'll have to kill me before they sodomize me. It's happened enough in my life against my will. Never gonna happen again. Unless it's my corpse." So there's that. Unless they drug me again somehow, dude, whatever however the hell they did that, or just kill me. That was the last fucking time that'll ever happen. So over my dead body, I'd be fine with that, and not letting my going out with some dignity. I'm no one's prostitute. I'm no one's slave, and I'm ready to fight to the death. And I don't mean I'm gonna go out and hurt somebody. I'm saying I will protect myself by any means necessary to not be attacked anymore. So there we are. Oh yeah, by the way, when the guy, when the rockabilly dude, warden finds out he's got the information that'll free Andy Dufresne, and Andy's cooking the books for the warden, for the prison, handing money and pies for work labor and stuff like that, exactly like what's going on now. I got at the Chowchilla Women's Facility, they've got them making computer chips and all kinds of different shit. Like a lot of our jobs in the United States that people could be making, like say in a union, and I'm not even sure if I'm pro-union or whatever, but a lot of people could be making those products, making $20, $30, $40 an hour, instead of the people in prison labor making 22 cents, whatever they make. Now I know about this because one of my old clients, when I had my insurance agency, he was a partial owner. He owned a bunch of different businesses, but he had something to do with private prisons, and he was telling me that that's exactly what he told me. One of his businesses, I had to insure some different things for him. So I thought, that's interesting. But yeah, the guy goes out to the courtyard with the warden. He says, "Young man, I need to let you know that I appreciate your honesty," or something, whatever. And I need to know that beyond the shadow of a doubt, actually I can't even redo this part. Anyway, he says, "I want to know if you are willing to help Andy Dufresne get exonerated." I can't remember what words he did. And he said, "Yes, sir, just give me that chance." And he's like feeling good about himself. The guy's been a piece of shit his whole life, stealing stuff out of people's houses, and in and out of jail and furlough programs and all this different stuff. And it's a biker reaching for a gun. Dude, that's old. This goes great with this part here. That was a nice bike though. Actually, I'd like to ride that bike. Uh, but right when he says, "Just give me that chance," the warden takes a cigarette, throws it on the ground, stomps it out, steps back. He looks up at Hadley, gives him a little nod, wink and the nod. Next thing you know, pop, 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 pop. Rockabilly guy's dead in the middle of the courtyard. So that happens. That happens. And I actually got my vest in here today. I don't want to call it bulletproof vest because there's a bunch of different rounds that'll go right through that thing. It's more like a bullet slower downer. But I didn't even wear it today. I just said fuck it. I don't want to get shot, but I also am not going to live in. I don't know. Maybe I should just wear it randomly every once in a while, just in case. Just in case. I actually knew a photographer in Fresno. Name. That was literally his name, Justin Case. Remember, I was photographing. Let's see. I don't know where that left off. Sorry. It cut out there for a minute. Sorry, I'm not seeing anybody's comments here. I have to drive and what's going on. Oh, this guy's got a Felix the Cat. Jeez, a little shake, whatever. This here. So small of his back, where a lot of people carry their firearm. Not everybody carries it on their side. They carry it in the small back because it fits there and it's more concealable. And C.R. England. Sorry, I was just reading the side of this truck. Just went by. Let's see here. Man, right when I was going to check the messages, the light turned green. Damn, this thing is shaky. Sorry about that. Oh, man. Yeah, so I've got another couple weeks. Hats around the world is looking good. It's like Code Blue. It's about Code Blue. When I used to work at Kaiser here, Code Blue, and all the doctors and nurses, everybody go running, go to the room. They bunch of chaos. They're either talking to some family members, explaining what happened, or they're like, "All right, high five, we saved them." That's kind of how my business is going right now. Got Code Blue. So we'll see if I can. I don't know. We'll see if they'll actually drop my boxes off here one of these days, so I get some stuff shipped out, or I can find some here in town. I know it doesn't seem like the biggest deal. Like, what? You have to find some boxes that's holding you back? You'd be amazed how. Well, if you're targeted, you wouldn't be amazed at how hard it is to do just to carry through with a simple task. But that's a big one right now. I'd really like to leave Arizona. They're trying to get you to just move from place to place to place, to dry up your money to decimate account. That's happened to me pretty much, and I just can't. It's ridiculous for me to live in such a large house. Never the plan to stay in that place anyway. It was just like, hey, let's live in a mansion for a couple years. We can afford it. It's like $1,200 a month. Unless we end up buying the place or whatever, but it was never the goal to stay in this house. 2 people in a 3,050 square foot house is completely ridiculous. So I'd like to live in something a lot smaller. Basically sell most everything I own except for what I need function. I don't need, I'd like some art on my wall. That's about it. Utensils to eat, dishes, bowls. plates, a refrigerator, that stuff. That's refrigerator, that stuff. That's all I care about. So I think we'll go ahead and have a estate sale and get rid of all that stuff. Try to get out of that house. Get out of that neighborhood. Definitely not in the neighborhood. I've tried long enough. For 4 years. 4.5 years. And so it's cool. I get it. It's cool. I get why they call it cold water. The little area I'm in is called Cold Water, and then my neighborhood is Glen Hurst or Glen Hurts. I like to call it Hurst, as in Hearst Castle, paper mill. Okay, well, I guess when you put your phone in the window in Phoenix and the sun's shining directly on it, it starts to malfunction a little bit. Kind of like if you leave a lawn chair out in your backyard in Phoenix for a year, you're buying a new lawn chair next year. It's just the sun wears things out. Look at my face. I've aged. My aging process has been almost like, you see somebody get elected president. They're looking pretty sharp, looking good. And then after their presidency is over, they just look like they got ran through a rock polisher. Yeah, actually, no, they'd be more polished if they, anyway, you get what I'm saying. The sun wears you out. So, I should probably go ahead and check out here. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go ahead and try to enjoy the rest of my drive home. I've been singing a lot. Just keep practicing with that. And go home and get some work done. And I appreciate everybody checking in here. I hope you folks are real. But after what I've gone through and the psyop kind of stuff, I have a good reason to believe that this isn't really going out to the general public. So again, if anybody's offended by that, like, I'm a real TI, don't say that. It's tough. It's tough to trust anybody. Oh, what happened in court? Oh, well, I'll just end the video here, and then you can go back and listen to the video, I guess. So, all right. 4 o'clock. June 14th. Today was Donald Trump's birthday. Let's see, Tom Tom. So, happy birthday to him. I know half of the people that are listening right now just went, fuck you, Barden. Trump's this or that. Yeah, you never know, You never know. People wear different masks, and sometimes they have to pretend like they're someone they're not. I'm not saying he's doing this, but sometimes you just figure out eventually what someone's real agenda is, and I'm still hoping that it's a positive one, and that it's maybe even something that I haven't figured out or understand fully. So yeah, I'm running out of things to say here. I'm kind of worn out, a little tired. So I'm just gonna go. I hope everybody has a good day.